It's great to see everyone here in the room, and thanks also to all of the people online. I'm Linda Spilker, and my co-chair Jeff Moore is up here in the front. The focus of this two-day meeting is going to be the decadal survey. We're going to hear reports about the survey, and especially on day one, let's keep our comments focused about the decadal survey. There's a town hall at the end of day two. If you have additional comments or things you'd like to bring up, please save them for day two. Next slide, please. Next slide. Oh, sorry. NASA's community-based forum to provide OPAG is the Outer Planets Assessment Group. And just want to briefly step through the charter, especially for any people who may not have seen it previously. OPAG is NASA's community-based forum. We provide science input for planning and prioritizing outer planet exploration activities for the next several decades. We evaluate outer solar system exploration goals, objectives, investigations, and required measurements. And this is on the basis of the widest possible community input, and your input really matters. We meet twice per year. This meeting got delayed. We wanted to make sure we met after the decadal survey came out and in that 90-day comment period, so we could provide comments back for that. We provided documents to the decadal survey, including an OPAG white paper, as well as a number of other white papers in areas of interest to OPAG. OPAG and the Small Bodies Assessment Group, known as SBAG, have joint custody of Pluto and of other planets that are amongst the Kuiper Belt objects. And I would add that I just got a draft finding from the chair of SBAG, Bonnie Barati, in which SBAG is suggesting that we form a joint SBAG-OPAG Ocean Worlds Working Group to stand that group up right away to address Ocean Worlds priorities. That could be a topic of interest, but let's please save that topic for day two. Just want to step through the steering committee that there are Jeff and I. Our newest members are shown below: Tibor Balint at the Jet Propulsion Lab, Alex Hayes from Cornell University, and Sean Su from the University of Colorado Boulder. At our previous meeting, we also added the top row additional members: Ken DeLynch at the Lunar and Planetary Institute, Kathleen Kraft at the Applied Physics Laboratory, and Krista Soderlund at the University of Texas. We also have Morgan Cable at the Jet Propulsion Lab and Kunio Sayanagi at Hampton University. And additional members include Scott Edgington at the Jet Propulsion Lab, Amanda Hendricks at the Planetary Science Institute, Lene Quick at NASA Goddard, Kathleen Mant at the Applied Physics Lab, Terry Herford at the Goddard Space Flight Center, and Carol Patty at the University of Oregon. And if you have any questions or comments that you'd like to make, please find one of the steering committee members and catch them and talk with them as well if you'd like to make some additional comment. Just want to step through the recent and upcoming meetings. Our next OPAG meeting is going to be at the Lunar and Planetary Institute in Houston. It's going to be November 15th through 17th, also a hybrid meeting. We chose these dates because Lori Glaze can join us for that meeting. She's not here in this 90-day comment period, but she really would like to join us. And so those dates work for her, so they also work for us as well. The PAC meeting is next week. There's a possible town hall at the EPSC in Granada in Spain. That's toward the end of September. There's a possible technology showcase by NASA headquarters in October. And Tibor Balint, our technology individual, will be representing us at that meeting. A possible town hall at the DPS in London, Ontario, the first week in October. And a possible town hall at the AGU in Chicago in mid-December. Also, we typically have a town hall at LPSC, and that would be in March of next year. Just want to go over a few COVID protocols. I think these are very important, provided to us. I think for the hotel in Washington, DC, they have no COVID mandates in place. But at this time, wearing masks at the meeting is optional, but highly encouraged. There are masks out front if you need one where you checked in. Hand sanitizer, gloves, and masks will be available. You can find those out front. If there happens to be a positive case while you're attending, the attendees who receive a positive test result are not allowed to come back to the meeting venue, and should quarantine, and it would be good just to let individuals know at the meeting. Attendees who test positive are encouraged to share their results, and there's a website there, and this can be done anonymously. For contact tracing purposes, a list of close contacts would be helpful also, that you were talking with without masking is requested. And this will all be considered confidential, but just to notify any individuals that you may have had contact with if you test positive. Our LPI code of conduct also applies to OPAG as well. I just want to go through it. It's very important. USRA and LPI is committed to providing a harassment-free experience for everyone, regardless of gender, gender identity and expression, sexual orientation, disability, physical appearance, body size, age, religion, race, or other protected status. And harassment is not tolerated in any form at the meeting. USRA and LPI expects that all participants will abide by this code of conduct, creating an environment free from harassment, discrimination, disruption, incivility, or violence of any kind. We expect participants to exercise consideration and respect in their speech and actions, and refrain from demeaning, discriminatory, or harassing behavior. And please report issues, concerns, or violations of the code of conduct directly to USRA LPI management and/or any OPAG steering committee member. Again, for meeting emphasis, basically, this is our opportunity to provide responses to the decadal survey recommendations. And so you'll be hearing presentations, starting out with a presentation by Robin about, and then some other presentations as well from OPAG members. And so then from there will be discussion periods. We have plenty of time for discussions today. The recommendations are expected to NASA by the end of July. And then the November OPAG meeting, as I said, that will be our chance to meet with headquarters representatives as well for an analysis and discussion of OPAG's response to the decadal recommendations. And we'll also have made some in the comment period. So over the next 2 OPAG meetings or so, we want to inform and coordinate with the Outer Planets community at the opportunities that align with the decadal recommendations. We want to get out there, get started, and go. Discuss updates to our Outer Planet scientific priorities and pathways, including any career guidance and direction for OPAG community members. So that's sort of an overview of today and looking ahead at the next couple of meetings. And finally, as far as the OPAG goes, for the priority questions and what we saw in the decadal survey, this is really a big win for OPAG. We formulated 18 big questions to guide the decadal survey. The 12 priority questions recommended by the decadal survey incorporated almost all elements of our 18 OPAG big questions. And the decadal priority questions are the basis to justify all of our proposals, missions, and RNA for the coming decade. So overall, the OPAG big questions are well represented. And like I said, it was a big win for OPAG. And with that, I'd like to turn it over to Jeff to step through the agenda for the next 2 days. Thank you.
Okay, good morning, everybody. So you just, of course, are in the middle of hearing the welcome. And as soon as I get off the stage, we're going to hear from the decadal survey overview, which both Robin and Phil, and I believe some of their colleagues, are here in the room to provide us with the take from on top on how this all has come down and what their aspirations are for the future from the survey. Then that will be followed by a presentation on Outer Planet Science Assessment, which Alfred McEwen is going to lead. Then we're going to have a technology summary for Outer Planets, the decadal surveys. You know, it takes all kinds of things like plutonium, et cetera, sometimes propulsion considerations to get to the outer solar system. Then we'll have a lunch break. When we get back, we'll have a presentation on timescales for reaching outer planet system targets listed in the decadal survey. And that's simply because, unlike traveling in the inner solar system, we're very much tied to gravity assists and other types, and also the changing obliquities and aspects of our various targets as they move about their orbits. And then we'll have an in-depth community discussion of the decadal survey, which will be open mic, followed by a break. And then we'll have lightning talks, which will run about 3 to 5 minutes. And Kate Kraft and Cuneo have organized those for us. Let's see if I can press the button. Usually bad things happen when I press these buttons. Okay. Also, you don't press the red button. I did it. It did. Nothing's happening. What's what? Bigger, even bigger. Okay. The other green button. I told you there should not be allowed around technology. Okay, so tomorrow we'll begin with a presentation from Henry, who is, of course, our headquarters rep about planetary systems science division update. And then we'll hear some information with the RPS program, followed by a talk on Clipper Next Generation Initiative. And then we'll have a 30-minute headquarter Q&A. When we get back from after that, we'll go to a presentation on ESA Voyage 2050 program, then a JUICE update, advancing IDEA and planetary science, planetary data ecosystem survey, and then a lunch break, and then we'll do next generation geodesy presentation. That should be very interesting. Future search for life workshop, which has been ongoing, and it's important to hear what they have to say. And then a talk on Europa SDI and collaborations with OPAG and MapSit. Then we will switch to our ongoing mission updates. First Europa Clipper, followed by Dragonfly, and New Horizons actually switched to Juno, so it'll be Juno, then New Horizons will be last. And then we will go to an update on JWST and HST, and have a break and come back and have our town hall where we will seek findings, which we'll report on to the PAC after this meeting. And with that, without further ado, it is my great honor and privilege to introduce my friends and colleagues, Bill Christensen and Robin Knopf, to come up and tell us about the survey.
And before that, I just want to add that if you look in the chat, if you're online, there'll be a link to a place where you can input questions. You can do it anonymously, or if you want to put your name down, you can do that. You can vote the questions up if you like. It's called Slido. And so if you are looking on the link, you'll be able to find it in the chat box. Do you want to say any more, Morgan, about that?
Sure, yes, during the Q&A period, we can also flash up the link on the screen as well. So anyone here in the room can also ask a question anonymously. For those of you who are comfortable going up to the microphone in the room, there is one in the back, sort of 2/3 of the way towards the back of the room. And if you do want to put your name when you are posting a question on Slido, just drop your name in as well as your affiliation if you feel comfortable before asking the question. Thank you.